Chandrababu Naidu, grace the stage, please. A very good afternoon, everyone.
In Indian culture, we have a very special place for our mother. We not only love our mother, we actually worship her. And she does everything possible for us. And we have a very similar relationship with our country, our nation. India is our motherland. And we will do anything possible for this country. When I was growing up, when I was graduating from IIT, I got a job offer from US. But I decided not to go to US and stay back in India because I wanted to contribute to the development of this nation, to the development of my motherland. Few years back, we saw this whole new trend coming in of internet. And few of my friends and I decided to start an e-commerce company, Xiaomi. And soon we became the #1 e-commerce company in the fashion space. But we were seeing a new trend, a very different kind of a trend. Most of the people who were coming online and shopping from our website, they were not using a desktop or a laptop. They were coming online using this small little device called a smartphone. And that was so fascinating. They had completely leapfrogged the entire desktop, laptop stage and have moved from not being online to being online using a smartphone. And that was extremely incredible. So I took a few days off. I went to China to meet a lot of mobile entrepreneurs. And that's when I met this crazy little guy, Hugo Barra. And he convinced me to join this amazing, crazy, fascinating startup called Xiaomi. So we started a journey 1 year back, and we never expected this kind of a response. The kind of love and support that we got in the last 1 year. 10,000 Me-Free phones sold in few seconds. Our partner Flipkart's website crashed for the first time in the history of the company. 100,000 Redmi 1S sold in about 4 seconds. 1 million devices in 4 months. Number 5th position in about 5 months. And today, we are pleased to announce that we have crossed 3 million smartphones sold in India ever since we started our business. But it's not about just numbers. It's not about just selling more phones. It's about the kind of impact that we can have, about connecting people, bringing them online. I will give 2 examples. One of my own sister, my cousin, Apurva, who lives in a small town, Saranpur, about 5 hours away from Delhi. Every time she wanted to buy something, she would travel from Saranpur to Delhi because there were no branded shops over there. So we gifted her a Mi phone. And all of a sudden she got access to Flipkart, Amazon, Snapdeal, Jabong. And instead of her traveling every time to buy goods, traveling to Delhi to buy goods, now everything has been delivered or is being delivered at her doorstep. And that has made her life so simple. The second example is from a gentleman, a Mi fan, from Visakhapatnam. I actually met him yesterday. He was about 60 to 63 years old. His name was Reddy. He is from some small town about 70-80 kilometers from here. He had never been online before. He bought a Mi 4i, one of our devices, and then he got access to Facebook, Google, Twitter, and many other platforms. Earlier he used to travel to Bangalore to meet his grandchildren. Now he does Skype call every day with his grandchildren living in Bangalore and US. And that's the kind of impact that I'm talking about, changing the lives of people. When we started a business 1 year back, a lot of people said, oh, you are just another international company entering India. And we said, no, we are not an international company. We want to be an Indian company with Indian values. As Hugo said, we want to be part of this fabric called as India. Our journey to become an Indian company started when we first designed a product for India. Me for I. Me for I. Me for India. This was the first product designed for India and was launched early this year in April. The second big moment came when none other than Mr. Ratan Tata decided to invest in Xiaomi. it was a very proud moment for all of us. Who can be a better mentor, better guide than Mr. Tata to tell us how to build an Indian company? But for us to build an Indian company, it required something more than just designing products for India. It required making products in India. So we stand here today to announce the launch of a manufacturing plant in India. We are proud to say that Xiaomi, along with its partner Foxconn, has started manufacturing phones in India, in Andhra Pradesh. When we started this journey about 6 months back, I'm feeling a little bit emotional here. So, when we started this journey 6 months back, we thought it would take us about 2 years to set up this manufacturing plant. And by the way, we announced these plans even before central government announced a lot of tax benefits, because we wanted to be close to Indians. We wanted to be close to the country. And we thought 2 years would be a good enough time for us to set up this manufacturing plant. But here we stand, within 6 months, at the launch of a manufacturing plant in Andhra Pradesh. And the big credit goes to these two gentlemen sitting on the stage, Honourable Chief Minister Mr. Naidu and Mr. Kant. I do believe Mr. Naidu is converting this state into a knowledge hub with the use of technology. Few weeks back, Mr. Naidu was kind enough to invite me for the launch of Knowledge Mission for this state. This is when he spoke about connecting all the households of this state with internet. And I was so awestruck with this vision, with his plans. And it is a vision that we're so proud to be part of, sir. It is an honor. Thank you so much. I would like to end by saying, I genuinely believe that Xiaomi today has become an Indian company with Indian values, with phones being designed in India, designed for India, and manufactured in India. We are 100% committed to the development of this country, of my motherland. Thank you. Over to you, Hugo. I would like if you can come and say a few words.
Thank you, Manu. First of all, a very special welcome to our honorable guests, Chief Minister Mr. Naidu, Mr. Amitabh Kant, DIPP Secretary, and a warm welcome to our good friends who have traveled for many hours to be here today. And another warm welcome to our new friends from the local media who are attending their very first Xiaomi event. Welcome, it's great to meet all of you. It's been about 3 months since our last big stage event here in India. That was the Me for I launch, which happened in New Delhi at the Shri Fort Auditorium, where we had close to 2,000 fans. And this past weekend, I had a very sweet moment. I was boarding my flight from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam, and as I was getting ready to board, at the top of the jet bridge, there was the security guard, the guy who checks the bag tags. And he was quite a few years my senior. As I walked up, he looked at me, he looked at my phone, he said, am I? Then he ever so gently tapped me on the back and smiled. Of course, I smiled back and I carried on. We connected. We had our little moment. We have embraced India, and India has embraced us. We're really, really excited. This weekend started, well, first of all, it was my very first time here in Andhra Pradesh, my first time on the eastern coast of India, my very first time to see the Bay of Bengal with my own eyes. And when I arrived, I saw this walking out of the passenger terminal at the Visakhapatnam airport. And I couldn't resist. I decided to tweet this photo. And what happened then was amazing. This particular tweet received the biggest number of likes and reshares of anything I've ever posted or any news I've ever shared on Twitter or Facebook, bigger than any product launch that I have ever spoken about. Of course, we're here for a very important reason. And what happened with this tweet was powerful because it speaks to how important that one goal that we set back on July 15th at our first launch event in Delhi, when we said, Xiaomi wants to become part of the fabric of India. One fan tweeted back at me and said, it's a small step for me, but a giant leap for me kind. Well, we agree. Our story with the Make in India program started in earnest at a meeting early this year in January in Beijing with Indian Ambassador to China, Mr. Ashok Kant. The ambassador came to our office in Beijing, to our headquarters, and we spent several hours together. We talked about a lot of different things. And we left that meeting with a clear sense of purpose, with a clear impression that there was a strong and unified voice coming from India that wanted to make things happen. The ambassador then introduced us to Mr. Amitabh Kant, who came to Beijing on his Make in India program roadshow. On that very same day when we met, Mr. Amitabh Kant made time for us, and we had a closed-door meeting, which included our senior manufacturing team. Shortly after that, Chief Minister Mr. Nara himself came to Beijing and spent time with us. And it was in that conversation with Mr. Naidu that we kicked off our conversations with the state of Andhra Pradesh. We spent more time with the Chief Minister and his staff. Foxconn did the same thing in parallel. And each time our confidence grew that things would happen really fast. And they did. As Manu said, in summary, we did in 6 months what we thought would have taken us 2 years to do. It was amazing. A comment that I made this morning was that every time I spend time with the Chief Minister, with Mr. Kant, with Kartik, and with the team, it feels like a startup because you move fast. And that's amazing. We love to move fast, too. And I have a photo here with Mr. Kant in Beijing. This was the first time we met the Chief Minister, Mr. Naidu. He and Manu got to spend some time together as well. It's amazing. Well, Before I was our first product designed for India. And today we're announcing our very first product that is made for India. And ladies and gentlemen, that's Redmi 2 Prime, which is the device that I have right here. Redmi 2 Prime is an enhanced version of our most popular product ever sold in India, which is Redmi 2. It's enhanced because it has double the memory, 2 gigs of RAM versus 1 gig of RAM, and double the storage, 16 gigs of flash storage versus 8 gigs of storage, and the same high-spec, high-performance Snapdragon 410 processor, 4.7-inch HD display, dual 4G SIM, and so on. Many of you already know this product extremely well. And we're introducing it in India, thanks to the Make in India program, for the amazing price of 6,999, which is an amazing price for this product. Thank you. And I said we like to move fast. So this product is available today, August 10th, across all of our channels, me.com, which is our own website, as well as Flipkart, Snapdeal, and Amazon. It's available immediately. We move fast. We can move even faster because we're now manufacturing locally. And of course, the best feature of all of the new Redmi 2 Prime is that it's made in India. To do this, we partnered with Foxconn, we've worked with for many years. Foxconn and Xiaomi worked closely and chose Shri as the location for our manufacturing facility here in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Shri is in the southernmost part of the state. It's about a 12-hour drive from Visakhapatnam. And what we have built over there is a full manufacturing operation. Now, when we design a Mi phone, we work very closely with Foxconn to simultaneously design the manufacturing process. It's a very, very important part of it. And in this photo, you can get a quick glimpse of the entire production line of one of many different production lines. It's about 100 meters long. And this is the entire production line, from component inspection to assembly to testing and finally packaging. So I'll walk you through some of these steps here and give you sort of an inside view of what this manufacturing operation looks like. So here, this is the inspection of the metallic structural body of the phone, which forms the integrity of the phone. Here we use a special machine to apply the display using pressure. Here you screw in the PCB using an electronic high precision screwdriver, and it happens very, very fast. So here placing the battery into the body of the phone. Here the phone is basically, Redmi 2 Prime is basically ready to go into testing. We have a battery of very sophisticated testing procedures that basically test every single aspect of every single unit made. Not a sample, but every single unit that goes through this production line is thoroughly tested. Here, a final inspection after the back cover of the phone is applied. And this is what it looks like before the box is finally closed. Applying the label, which says Made in India, of course, on it. And then this is when Redmi 2 Prime each unit of Redmi 2 Prime is officially born. This is the first scan that basically makes it exist officially into the system. On its way to the very final step, which is shrink wrapping. And then it's in the box and ready to go to the shipping warehouse. So this is a very quick summary of the entire assembly process for Redmi 2 Prime in Shri in Andhra Pradesh. Now, why did we do this? Why did we decide to manufacture here in India? Well, of course, there are the economic benefits of the Make in India program, which of course allow us to offer this product for the lowest price that we possibly could before. But there are also significant benefits from a supply chain perspective. What we're doing by manufacturing locally in India is effectively shortening the distance between the time when the product comes out of the production facility until it gets delivered to a customer. Now, for a company that, like ours, operates a business model of very low margins, this means that we can operate on little or zero inventory. And that's absolutely critical. Manufacturing in India is enabling Xiaomi to become what I like to call a just-in-time business. It is the ultimate for a company like ours. And we chose Redmi 2, our most popular, our most loved device here in India. This is the first product we want to manufacture locally. Now, 100% of the Redmi 2 Prime units that we will sell in India are made in India. We didn't phase in. We didn't start with imported units and then phase in the locally manufactured units over time. No, we're going all in, all at once. 100% of the Redmi 2 products that are sold here in India have Made in India written on the back of the box. And over time, every single smartphone that we sell in India will be manufactured in India, will be made in India. Of course, our fans love us. We love our fans. Our fans are a very important part of what we do. They give us product feedback. They give us tons of suggestions and comments. So we decided, for this very special, unique moment in time of our history here in India, when we're not only celebrating our first anniversary, but we're introducing manufacturing. We're taking our biggest leap forward so far. We are asking our fans to design our packaging for us. So we're launching a campaign in social media today, whereby our fans will design a special label sticker that will go on every single device that we manufacture, that we make here in India. So this kicks off today, and we're really, really excited. So to close, I want to talk about how incredibly proud I personally am on behalf of Xiaomi and the India team to be part of this Indian technology revolution. And I think revolution is the right way to describe what's happening in India right now, because it is incredible. And I see this when I spend time with entrepreneurs and startup founders. I see this when I meet with our partners. I see this when I meet with our fans. You know, we're engineers, we're technology guys. So we're really excited to be pioneers, to be first movers, to be at the forefront of this movement, which I believe will project India into one of the world's greatest technology leaders. Thank you guys very, very much. Thank you.
Honourable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chandrababu, Naidu, Hugo, Manu, all the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first welcome Xiaomi and me to Andhra Pradesh, to India, and wish it all success. India's got a huge amount of young energy right now, and in many ways, me represents the vibrancy, dynamism, innovation of India, of present-day India. To my mind, the future of Xiaomi and me is not in China. It is in India. And if you're going to grow, expand, and become bigger and bigger, you're not going to grow bigger and bigger in China or anywhere else in the world. You're going to grow bigger and bigger and expand and make your wealth in India. India is extremely young. We are passing through a window of demographic transition, which rarely happens in history. We've got 900 million mobiles. We add 9 million mobiles a month. We are a young India of a vast range of startups. India's been the back office of the world. China has been the factory of the world. But I think this is radically changing, and what India is converging and integrating is its skill in information, communication, and technology with its innovation and manufacturing spirit. And what Xiaomi has captured in India is the spirit of young India. And it has some unique combinations. It has a combination of Xiaomi, it has a combination of Foxconn, it has a combination of Shri, it has a combination of Andhra Pradesh, and it has a combination of a very dynamic chief minister. And when you combine these 5 factors, you've created an ecosystem which you will not get anywhere else in the world. And I think these 5 factors is what will enable you to capture this Indian market, and from India to capture the rest of the world. In my view, India will become a great manufacturing nation. We've essentially grown on the back of services, but India is determined to become a great manufacturing nation. The Make in India initiative has identified 25 sectors where India has a core competency. And these sectors, we are determined to make India a great manufacturing nation. We've started with electronic system and design. And one of the key things we did was to knock out our tax structure in electronic manufacturing. Even when the Supreme Court quashed it, we brought it back again to ensure ensure that electronic manufacturing becomes the cheapest in India. And we are determined to make India a great manufacturing nation, starting from Andhra Pradesh. So not only should you make Red MI Prime here, Red MI2 Prime here, but you should go on to make your MI Pad, you should make your notebook, you should make all single products which will enable you to penetrate global markets and take Samsung and Apple head-on from Andhra Pradesh. And if you continue to manufacture from here, you will emerge a winner beating Samsung and Apple from India. You will never get this opportunity again. You have an extremely dynamic Chief Minister. We've all seen him while growing in creating a great Andhra Pradesh, a great capital of Hyderabad when he was the Chief Minister. And he will create a great ecosystem for Andhra Pradesh, which will make it the most dynamic state in India. So you will never get this opportunity again. And we are all here from Government of India to act as your facilitator, act as your catalyst. We'll support you in every single endeavor. In every single endeavor to make you succeed is our commitment to you. And we will ensure that you become a resounding success because you capture the young dynamism, the young vibrancy, and the young innovativeness of a very young, dynamic India. So we wish you all the best, we wish you all the success, and we assure you that Government of India is fully behind you. Thank you very much.
You have seen the Vice President, global, his commitment and also his all youngsters within 4 years' time, how they have done, it is a remarkable job. As of today, it is fourth largest in the world, and also Xiaomi also became the largest smartphone vendor in China in 2014. At the end of December 2014, the most valuable startup company has become market cap of 46 billion US dollars. It is a remarkable achievement. I am seeing them, all youngsters, the way they are working, the way they are committing for a cause. They are competing with existing multinationals, years together, they are decades together, they were there. And at the same time, they want to deliver cost-effective devices. I am very happy for that. Even the companies have over 8,000 employees, mainly in mainland China, Malaysia and Singapore. And also they are expanding very fast India, Indonesia, Philippines and Brazil. Name also, if you see Xiaomi, they made Me. It is a acronym for Mobile Internet and Mission Impossible. And Mission Impossible, they are using that word. I am very happy for that. Nowadays, if you see, if you think it is not possible, then nothing can be done. If you see it is possible, everything is possible, then it will happen. That is the mission they have kept. I am very happy for that. Even by seeing that phone, for everybody, by using that phone, no impossibility, everything is possible. That is the message they are giving. It is going to add in a quick way. They are today in smartphones, tablets, TVs, routers, set-top boxes, cloud storage devices. These are all the areas they are very popular as of today. You know very well India's strength. Just now, our secretary has mentioned very clearly about India. If you see India, first time telecom revolution has come. I am a part of that. The then Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, he constituted a subcommittee under the then Finance Minister. I was co-chairperson for that. At that time, there are two companies, public sector. One is BSNL and BSNL monopoly. We thought China is moving very fast. Why can't India has to move? Then finally, they brought reforms in telecommunication sector, deregulation. Then onwards, we have seen the growth. Now it has become a reality. Another thing, information technology revolution. Same time both has come, late 90s. We are very happy. India is very strong in information technology. Thanks to British people, they left English to us. They didn't took English. Everything they have, some properties they have taken, but English they left to us. We are very strong in English now as on today. Added to that, our people are very strong in mathematics. It is a deadly combination. In information technology, if you see China, because of revolution, they have done manufacturing hub. Nobody can beat us in software operations, in information technology. That is a reality. Because of, due to not proper policies, we are lagging behind. Now, you have seen our Secretary, DIPP, and also our Prime Minister is very clear. He want to go in big way, make in India, especially hardware campaign. And at the same time, I am requesting you, make in India, made in Andhra Pradesh, you put in a hall of operation. We will be very happy to extend all the cooperation for you. You know, I was also taken some responsibility in promoting information technology at the time. We had very limited engineering colleges. From 30 engineering colleges, within 7 years, 8 years time, I multiplied to 350 engineering colleges. I introduced information technology in a big way. Then I thought how to create employment. Then ultimately, we created Cyberabad city itself, starting with the high-tech city, and also we created one city, Cyberabad. Even that city I named when Bill Clinton visited Hyderabad. We inaugurated that high-tech city. Then we named that area as Cyberabad. That has become very popular, not only in India, all over the world. Today, if you see Hyderabad is a knowledge economy. Any company you name, every company is in Hyderabad. That is how we created Hyderabad, one of the best center. That was the history. This time, our PM is very keen on Make in India. We are also very keen to promote it. Even if you see on hardware, either smartphones, you name anything, all devices for that matter. And ultimately, we are importing huge import substitutes. That is the biggest money we are involved in investing in imports. If you see another 4 or 5 years time, as on today, import of oil is the biggest foreign exchange we are investing. Another 4 or 5 years, it will be hardware. This is the biggest problem. Hardware, if you create a good policy, people like you will come. You can brought revolution in India. I am confident under the leadership of our Honourable Prime Minister, India will become hardware manufacturing hub, not only to meet the demands of India, even for export. That the day is not far away. We are going to achieve this.
The Honourable Chief Minister, please, to unveil the new Make in India, manufactured in Andhra Pradesh, Red B2 Prime.